So we came to Tonka and we came to the main cove, and I had my drone in the air and everything was going good. I had just flown it up the hill and into the ruins, and was feeling really good about life and pretty much doing whatever it told me I could do. Wasn't really controlling it, but it was I was watching the screen. So I get back and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a really cool shot. I can't wait to get it. And then I was like, what's sport mode?
Oh no.
So I landed the drone, put a new battery in, flipped it on sport mode, and I thought I would do this really cool fly through the cove out to the main channel thing. And I was in sport mode, and that was where you can go faster. And I don't know what happened, but I'm flying along and I'm feeling really good about life. It's 20, 30 feet off the water, and then just gone.
Lakers love their toys. And I'm not talking just about boats and boat toys and dock toys and toys in their home and toys in their garage. I'm talking about toys that make memories. And I don't care if you're a content creator or you're just a Laker who likes spending time at your lake. Owning a drone is almost an absolute necessity for the toy lovers who have lots of toys in their life. And so my buddy and I, Ramsey Stewart, decided that we were going to create an episode and talk about our experiences with drones. And mind you, we are far from experts about drones, not professional drone flyers. We are just average Joes, novices who love our time at the lake, also enjoy creating content both for business and for personal purposes. And so we've had some experiences with drones, and we thought we would share that with you today. So check out these stories that we both have, and then towards the end, I'm also gonna share the exact specific toys that I bought based on the experience, based on some failures, based on some recommendations, and what I think I would recommend for many of you, if you're a novice just like me, that you should own too. Check this out.
So 2017-ish, I got my license. And of course, when real estate agents get their licenses, there's this whole machismo side of being an agent that you're oh, I don't need to hire a drone person, or I don't need to do that stuff. So I went and bought a drone. The little DJI Spark, the very first small one they had that basically went up and down and did really nothing else. And a buddy of mine had the Phantom, and I was like, I want to learn what you're doing, blah blah blah. I want to take my own photos, I want to do all this stuff. So we came to Tonka and we came to the main cove, and I had my drone in the air and everything was going good. I had just flown it up the hill and into the ruins, and was feeling really good about life and pretty much doing whatever it told me I could do. Wasn't really controlling it, but it was I was watching the screen. So I get back and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a really cool shot. I can't wait to get it. And then I was like, what's sport mode?
Oh no.
So I landed the drone, put a new battery in, flipped it on sport mode, and I thought I would do this really cool fly through the cove out to the main channel thing. And I was in sport mode, and that was where you can go faster. And I don't know what happened, but I'm flying along and I'm feeling really good about life. It's 20, 30 feet off the water, and then just gone. Vanished, drone. Had it 3 days, $600-700 worth of stuff, and done. So there's a couple things. One, just hire people.
Or get a drone that has when it loses connection, it automatically comes back.
It should have that, but sport mode changed that. Sport mode got rid of all of that. So I should have never been in sport mode. So I should have never bought my own drone, and I should have never been in sport mode, and I would still probably have that drone. But then I replaced it and dumped it in the pool. So I pretty much just don't need drones. That's why I need to hire people.
That's interesting. When it comes to drones, so I did buy a drone,
right.
But I don't think I have the same machismo mentality, more of I enjoy creation, right? So when I bought a drone, I went to a buddy of ours in real estate. You know Tyler Hassman. You do know him because he's real. And so Tyler is, one of the OGs of this type of content, of self-creation. Uses a cell phone as his primary camera. But anyways, he's the one who recommended the DJI Mini 3 Pro. And the reason is it's not the most advanced, but it's got all the functionality. Super small, can fit in your pocket, you can get into tight spaces with it and that sort of thing. But also it has the camera that goes from landscape to vertical, so you can flip it, so it's optimized for TikTok and Instagram Reels and all that kind of stuff. I've not gone to sport mode yet. I'm scared shitless.
Just don't do it.
Well, I definitely won't do it over water. Now I know that. But I'm the guy who bought landing gear and then took landing gear and attached noodles to it.
So it float.
So it would float, because I also lost a drone in the lake, but I bought a cheap ass one.
Yeah, see, I don't, yeah.
And it didn't have the return home button, and I flew it out on shootout weekend. And this is before the shootout started. It's hovering out over where the boats are lined up, and then all of a sudden it's not doing anything. It's just hovering there, and I'm like, I think I lost connection. It's not connected to me, and I didn't know what to do. So we sat there for a few minutes, and eventually I'm like, well, let me press the power button and see what happens. Just straight down into the water. And the people that were out there, because I was a few boats over, it was probably like 10 boats over, and people didn't probably know where it was, and they freaked out. People started swimming out to it, and I'm like, fuck it,
so let it go.
Let it be, man. That's what I get. It actually was a free drone. It was actually a company that had reached out, and it was TikTok, one of those deals. But that was so ever since now I'm scared shitless.
Well, when I lost mine, of course, like, I had just paid for it, so like, and I was new. Like, I went back in and I could see the log of where it was, and then the flight log or whatever.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it just went dead.
And it went dead. And so I contacted DJI, and of course, like an idiot, I didn't buy the warranty thing. And so they're like, please submit this. We'll see what happened, because in my eyes, like, it just vanished. And so I was like, what the hell happened? And then DJI like analyzed the flight log or whatever. It felt kind of important for a second, but then they came back, they're like, sorry, we just looks like a user error. And I was like, well, what's the user error? Like, explain this to me. How does this user error work? And they were like, oh, you just lost it, we can't do anything. So that was the end of me being, that was not the end. It took me 2 more drones to return.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, like then again, I was like, well, I'll just buy a Phantom. They're better. So that was before they quit making Phantoms. So I bought a Phantom and then ruined it because I dropped it in a pool. And then...
How did that happen?
I bought it used. And the very first flight, the guy before me that had it had the controls inverted. So you know how like up is technically down.
Oh yeah.
But he had it more the natural way.
I didn't even know you could adjust those features.
Yeah, and so when I went to land, I thought I was getting close to the pool deck, and I hit it the wrong way, and it went towards the pool deck. But then I corrected and it went down, but the momentum turned it from the pool deck into the pool.
Oh god.
But what I found out though is new electronics, like we know like iPhone's waterproof, but like pretty much all newer electronic is designed to get wet. You just have to let it dry.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
Got it. They won't say that though.
No, they don't. Yeah, but if you...
It's kind of like the iPhone. It's resistant, but not...
Right. So, yeah. So no more drones.
Okay, so that was number 2. What was number 3?
Number 3 was just a Mavic, and I realized
Just
by that... Mavic, like the Mavic
It's a nice one.
Air.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
$1,000 drone,
Right, and then I didn't lose it. I sold it before it would like get, so I didn't worry about breaking it. So yeah, we're good there. No more drones.
But I think the moral of this story is
Hire
because,
people.
well, but I disagree because I love flying them
Right.
and I have a lot of fun with it. I guess if you're gonna own it, do you be a wuss like me and just kind of take all the precautions and don't put it into sport mode? But that's the thing is that we're talking about the Lake of the Ozarks here and owning a drone, because the Lake of the Ozarks has incredible footage all year long.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about like what is that button that you can press? Will it will automatically follow you, which I haven't done that yet. But think about, like, if you're a boat owner and you you put it in that mode, and then it automatically follows you while you're driving. I mean, that's just cool as hell. So if you like creating, if you like, capturing your memories, but you like creating cool content, imagine doing that on a go fast boat, which I don't know if we can keep up, but just doing it on a cruiser, doing it on a pontoon, it doesn't matter. It's just cool.
We did it with my buddy C Ray. Like, we did watch it follow, but like for me personally, I could never just let go. Like, you're in the middle of a cove and clearly there's no like power lines or trees, but you're still worried that there's power lines and trees. So like, until you get really comfortable, like it's a little scary.
And that's just it. And so I have another story of the first time probably early on in my flying days, which I'm still a baby in comparison to most drone flyers, based on the fact I can't even name the terms. We were in Mission Cove, which is right around the corner from Clearwater. And so I was flying it around Mission and saw some boats taking off out of Mission. So I'm like, I'm going to follow them out over to Clearwater, which is like half a mile by water. It's not far. Anyways, I got out around the corner, and all of a sudden the screen went blank. It just froze. And I'm like, what happened? And I don't know what to do, right? Same kind of situation. And then a few moments later, I don't know what the timeline was. It probably felt like eternity. It's probably 10 seconds, 30 seconds, I don't know.
Seconds
yeah,
later.
Probably. It came back on, and it was returning home. So it goes up to 90 meters or whatever. So I don't know if you've ever noticed this on a return home button. It automatically goes up because it wants to avoid trees and all that sort of thing, and then it will make its way back. And so I'm just watching it on the screen. I can't do anything. I'm helpless. And all of a sudden I'm watching it, and eventually we spot it, and it's it's a speck in the sky at that point. And it comes and it hovers over us. Then I took back control and flew it back down. But man, talk about, so that's what I would have thought, but you should have done, but in sport mode it doesn't do that.
Right. So like, you're just kind of,
well, and I thought for sure, I'm like, I'm fucked. Like, the thing went down, it's in the lake. And even though it had noodles, like, how am I going to find this thing? I mean, and we were tied up to people. It would have been a fiasco, man.
But you got it back.
It came back. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that the moral of the story from my perspective is this is my technically fourth drone. The first one I landed in the lake. The next two I bought, I was buy one, get one or something like that, which was also kind of a mistake. Like, you buy cheap drone, you get cheap results, and I didn't even fly it. One time I have my stepson test these out because he knows electronics better than I do, and it didn't work. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna invest in a drone. So my advice is you're gonna spend $1,000 with accessories on a good drone, and you should. Ramsey's advice is
hire somebody.
Is now on that note, who do you recommend hiring down here to Lake the Ozarks?
My guy is Orson Media. That's who I always hire. He does things a little different because he's in that FPV, so he can get a little bit more of that real GoPro action type footage via drone. So that's my go-to. And there's a few other companies, but yeah, he's
Orson Media, based out of Lebanon, but he does the lake all the time.
Yep, that's my guy. So
I love it. Well, now you know, man. Now this is a bonus episode of, if you're gonna own a drone, what type of drone? My answer is DJI Mini 3 Pro.
I would agree with that if you're gonna buy one. Like, if you're gonna buy one, save up money, invest in a good one, and invest in the warranty. Because I think it's pretty much foolproof. Like, I think it's designed. Like, you're gonna lose one, pay this, and you're gonna get a new one back. Like,
and the drone itself is like, I think mine was $799 because I got it with the screen built in, which I also recommend. Versus using your cell phone. Yeah, because you get notifications, all these sort of things. I got a bunch of accessories. I got extra batteries because the battery life says it's like 35 to 40 minutes, but it's more like 15. I got landing gear, which was super cheap. I got protectants, which I never use, actually, protectors of the wings, which I have crashed. By the way, that's another great lesson. If you're going to fly it inside your house, which I have, and it's low lighting, it's at night, the sensors don't work.
Right.
So, and it just gets a mind of its own, and I've crashed it, not in a bad way, but just a slight crash, like into the wall, basically ruins the propellers.
Right.
And then you got to put new propellers on. So I did buy extra propellers as well. So there you have it. Those are our stories about drones. Now let me show you some of the specific items that I have bought. And let me start with the stories where I told you I bought some cheap drones. This is an example of a cheap drone. This was an ad on Instagram. It got me. I actually bought 2 of them. My stepson took it out to fly it and quickly realized this thing was a piece of junk. You got what you paid for. I think I paid around 150 bucks for 2 drones. I think the moral of the story, and my stepson even told me this, Jeff, if you're not going to spend 500 to 1,000 bucks, you're not going to get a good drone. And when all was said and done, I ended up getting the recommendation of a real estate agent friend of mine who creates a lot of content for real estate. And he recommended this DJI Mini 3 Pro for a few reasons, and I'm going to share with you those reasons as well as the accessories that I bought with it. I ended up spending, all told, with the drone and the accessories, probably between 1,100 and 1,200 bucks, and I have to say it's well worth it. So it starts with obviously the drone, and this drone is very small, and so it can almost literally, you can see the size of it, fits in the palm of my hand, could fit in your pocket. Now, as you can see here, I bought this extra accessory. This is just a little extra storage thing that wraps around it. It kind of keeps the propellers in here and kind of keeps them safe. If you don't have experience with drones, these propellers are very delicate, and so if you crash into anything, as I mentioned in the video, it can do damage. So one of the things that I bought as accessories was these propellers. So I just bought a bunch of extra propellers. They're not expensive. I absolutely recommend having a bunch of these on hand, just in case you do what I did. Now, as you're looking again at this drone, at the size of it, as I mentioned, one of the things I liked about it was that the camera can switch from horizontal to vertical. So for those of you that might be creating content or you want to create it to be more optimized for most of the platforms other than YouTube, and you want it vertical, then this is a great option. Make sure that when you buy your drone, you buy it that has the camera that can change, that can basically move its lens, right? Now, the other thing that I wanted in a drone was the ability to be able to fly in tighter spaces, and that's why the Mini 3 Pro was a great option. It's super light, so if you're flying it at high winds, the wind can affect it. I haven't had that experience yet, and I've flown it in some decent winds, probably 15 miles an hour, and it hasn't really affected the drone, so there's that. Another thing about this drone is because of its weight, it has very light batteries. So the battery, it says, has about a 30-minute life. The reality is it's about 15 minutes. So I did buy an extra battery pack with 2 extra batteries. So now I have a total of 3 batteries, and that way, if I'm out for a long day on the lake, I've got plenty of battery life. I shouldn't need to be flying a drone more than 45, 50 minutes, which is essentially what I have. Now, as you notice here, there's really no landing gear. There is these little rubber guys right here that it lands on. And because you're landing on sometimes uneven surfaces, I recommend buying some landing gear. I got these on Amazon, very inexpensive. If you follow me on TikTok, you know that I also modified this. So I bought 2 of these. I have one here at home and then one at my lake house. And as you can see here, it just ends up snapping on there like helicopter landing gear. Now, for my lake versions, I actually modified some, I took some small noodles, like pool noodles, and duct taped them to the landing gear just in case I ever landed it in the lake or it accidentally went down to the lake, which has happened to me before. I know it's going to be ruined, but at least it'll be floating, and therefore, if that happens and it's something that is a malfunction with the drone, I then can ship it back to DJI and say, here's what happened, and I was able to retrieve it, but now it doesn't work. So those are some of the accessories. A couple of other accessories that I bought. I bought this on a recommendation, which are propeller guards. So this just snaps on, and now the propellers continue to rotate inside of this. I've never had to use this. And so I think the recommendation came to me as somebody who was flying their drone in like a city where there's tall buildings. And essentially this, if they have these on, it'll bounce off the building and not hit the building with the propellers and go straight down. And so it's a nice potential depending on where you're gonna be flying your drone, if not open spaces. The other very important thing is the controller. And so you have two options. You can buy a controller with the screen put on, which is what I opted to do, which is a more expensive version, or you can get it with an attachment here that attaches your cell phone. The reason why I was recommended to buy this, and I did, is just because obviously if you're using your cell phone and you're getting notifications and you're flying your drone, or maybe you're in a spot with very spotty service, I was just afraid that could impact the flight of the drone, and I already sucked at flying it, so I didn't want to take any chances. So I went ahead and bucked up and got the screen built in, and I have absolutely loved it. It's got a cool little storage thing here too, with the little toggles, the little joysticks that come off here, and then they just screw on there, and then that's how you operate the drone. So you can take those off and then store them right here in the back of the drone, which is really nice. Highly recommend buying the controller with the screen. I did buy a storage bag. So this is a storage bag that is for the DJI Mini 3 Pro. So it stores the drone in here, it stores the controller and the battery pack and all of my little accessories. So this is a nice little thing to have. It's not very big, it's padded, it protects it. Highly recommended. And then lastly, storage. And so I bought 2 different storage SD cards. That way I can rotate them, and I haven't had any problems. I will say that this drone operates off the little SD card, so it's just a little guy right inside of there. Now my computer has the adapter for that. If you don't, that's what this is for. This is an adapter card, so if you need the bigger one, you slide the smaller SD card inside of there, and then that goes into your computer. So that is my recommendations for what you should do if you decide you want a toy that is a drone. Again, you heard from Ramsey and I, you heard from our experiences, there's a lot of drone options. DJI, in my opinion, is probably the best. If you're looking for one to be used as a toy for fun, this DJI Mini 3 Pro, I would highly recommend it. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It flies really awesome. It's got the functionality of flipping the camera from horizontal to vertical if you want it optimized for those various social platforms, or if you just want to fly it normally. I'd definitely keep it in horizontal because it gets a much bigger picture. But this is a great drone, and I hope that we inspired some of you to go out this holiday season and purchase yourself a new drone. And I want to see more drone videos flying, more drone videos and more drones flying around the Lake of the Ozarks, and hopefully whatever lake you reside at this summer. See you on the next video.